Okay.
Yep. So yeah, all right. First of all, nice to meet you. I just wanted to get like a brief overview of like how's your clinic doing? As in
Yeah.
like, are you still, because you said you're not working there full time, right? Like you're
Mm.
working at a full-time job and then you're doing this on the side, is it?
That's right. So the business is family owned, by my family, and so
Yeah.
we have hired nursing staff to do the actual work,
Yeah.
and my family does the admin side of things. So my mother is the reception, and handles all the bookings, and just things like the social media side of things is for me.
Yep. Do you mind me asking how your family actually started this business?
We just bought it from
Oh, I see.
from when it was
Okay, that makes
established.
more sense.
It's only been a year or so.
I see. Has it been like steady revenue or income?
Steady, not the best. Obviously, could definitely be better. It's quite slow.
Yeah.
Don't have exact numbers, but it's not, it definitely could be better. I think a lot of the problem comes down to advertising, and
Yeah.
social media presence. That's from what I can see. That's how the successful clinics are bringing in the revenue.
Yeah.
The only issue is because I do work full time, at
Yeah.
the hospital. It leaves me very little time
Figure things out, is
focus
it?
to
Yeah.
focus on that. And the new thing as well as the new regulations
Yeah. The
with the
APRA
TPA, yeah,
regulation. Yeah.
APRA and everything exactly like that. It's very, very difficult to figure out what to
How to
advertise.
navigate it. Yeah.
Yeah, and with the social media side of things as well, it's difficult to get content, without somebody there full time to take the content, as in if it's photos or videos
Yeah.
or reels and things like that. So we need a dedicated person who, is available. The nursing staff are doing their job by doing the injectables and doing the work, but there's no one there to be the
Film
photographer
it and
and be the,
everything, is it?
yeah, exactly. Like I'm the one who puts, if we have a reel, if we have a video or a photo, I'm the one who puts it together and uploads it. But in terms of someone there in the clinic to take the photos and the videos, we're limited in that.
I see. And your mom doesn't know how to do any of that, I reckon.
Well, she can, but it's just because she's busy with the admin. So when the
I
clinic is
see.
open, she's at the front with the reception. So she can't really leave the reception and go
Yeah.
in with the clients.
Yep. And have you tried anything before, like with any other agencies or any past experiences you had?
We've had, so prior to buying the business, I know that they had, somebody who was running their website.
Yep.
And as part of that, they were doing some of the Google ads.
Yep.
And then there was someone who approached us recently about doing Google ads as well. Um, and someone also who was saying that they had not a billboard, but like an electronic billboard in one of
Yeah.
a nearby mall.
Yeah.
Um, and those things, sounded good in theory, particularly
Yeah.
the Google ads and things like that, but it was just more for us at the time, just unaffordable,
Mm.
and not something that we thought, would benefit us at
Benefit
the
yeah.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. Because like I mean billboards, it's good, like you get a lot of impressions and like views, but you can't really it's not quantifiable as in the results, right? And you know how like Google Ads, because when you run Google Ads, it's targeting people that already is looking for a problem,
Looking
right?
for exactly
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Plus when with Google Ads, right, it's like you have to compete very hard with a lot of people because like there's
Mhm.
only one top spot at the top, right?
Mhm.
Whereas Facebook ads is like, you can target people who don't actually realize they have a problem. And
Right.
then, yeah, then they can,
Yeah.
they can figure
So
out
yeah, if
how
you
you
if
can
you
help
could
them.
let me know
Yeah.
how the system works, that would be really
Yeah.
helpful. And
Yeah.
if
Okay. Yeah. Let me just share my screen and then I can just kind of give you a brief
Beautiful.
overview of how I
Mhm.
usually help my clients. Yeah.
So how long
Can
have you
you
been doing this business for?
I started doing last year in terms of like social media marketing, like proper content and stuff. But I
Hmm.
realized because like I wasn't really want to do what I want to do because it's very time consuming and like having to discuss with the client about like how our like all those videos and photos should go is
Mm.
very time consuming and like the clients are like very hard to deal with, right?
Yeah,
So I
and particularly
realized
probably about what they want to post and things like that.
yeah.
Mm.
So I figured it would be better if I help them run their ads because those are more quantifiable results, right? Because like when I post all this organic stuff,
Hmm.
like sure you get media presence, but like the results aren't quantifiable. Like
Hmm.
I can't be charging you like $1,000 for 30 posts and then those 30 posts don't even get you any new clients, right?
Yeah. Right.
Whereas with like Facebook ads, the results are like, yeah, everything is like tracked to the T. And then,
Hmm.
we can tell like, okay, where's like what issues are popping up, right?
Right.
So let me just show you like one of the ads that uh we're currently drafting out and we're gonna publish soon. Right.
Hmm.
So obviously when you run a ad, like the most important thing with running an ad is actually having a good offer. Right.
Right.
If you don't have a good offer, it doesn't
It's
matter
not
how
going to
good
draw
your
people in.
yeah,
Yeah.
because it doesn't matter how good your creatives is or like how good your copy is, right? If you
Hmm.
don't have a good offer, people wouldn't even bother coming to the clinic, right?
Right.
So first step is figuring out like what's a good offer to offer people to attract them.
Sure.
And then next is to, kind of craft our message around the offer, right?
Hmm.
So one thing that I really like notice is that, by able to like being to kind of bring in some psychological hacks
Mm.
and to kind of infuse that psychological side of things. Are you familiar with like the Maslow theory, like hierarchy of needs, right?
I'm not.
Yeah, so there's a few stages to like this pyramid. Let me should have. Can you see my screen?
Hmm. Yeah, I can.
Yeah, so yeah, the first one is like physiological and like safety, right? So it's like having like food, shelter and everything, but after that it's like belonging and love. So
All right. Yep.
yeah, how do we like target our ads in a way that would, target the psychological needs of like girls, right? Because
Right.
obviously when you're publishing these ads, you want to be targeting, I mean like late 40 people who like ladies who are loaded with cash,
We
you
actually
don't
have
want to,
quite like our demographic is either the young, so we've had a lot of clients in their 30s, so late 20s to 30s,
yeah,
or like you were saying, the late 40s as well.
yeah,
So it's not, it's pretty varied. Like we've got a lot of young girls who are still in their early 30s who are doing the preventative measures. And if there's not even just preventative, like for example, this ad here, it says the under eye concern. A lot of them
yeah,
are getting addressed from when the girls are very young as well.
I see. So like, do you mind me asking what are like your most popular treatments? Is it like the HIFU body contouring or
Yeah, so
injectables?
it would be injectables. So yeah, the Botox and the anti-wrinkles.
Yeah,
And we've also got skin treatments as well. So that would be the RF laser. That's to
yeah.
be honest, the one that brings in the most money as well. The RF is the most profitable
Yeah,
one per session because for this treatment, people need to buy a couple of sessions at
yeah,
once.
yeah.
Um, and then it also addresses a number of different concerns at once as well. You can cover, it's a skin
Yeah,
problem. So
skin
anybody with
wrinkles. Yeah,
congestion, with pigmentation and
yeah,
uneven skin tone and those kinds of things, they can all be addressed within the same treatment.
yeah. So how much does like one package usually cost?
Oh goodness, I'm sorry, I can't remember off the top of my head. I've got a list somewhere. Um,
Let me just check your website as well. 'Cause
yeah, it'll be
I've
on our.
noticed your website posts a lot of like all your pricings and stuff.
It might be slightly out of date, but I can confirm it. Mm,
Yeah, but, I mean that's fine. No, but, let's just continue with it. Sorry,
mm,
I got sidetracked there. Yeah, yeah. So basically, we have a good creative, and then like our copy. So how we structure? I don't know if you can see it's a bit too small.
that's
Yeah, but
okay.
how we structure our copy is that okay? The first line will be the most important one because
To
if
draw
you see
somebody in.
before I click see more, right? The only line that you see is the first line, right?
Yeah.
So first we have like a call out, and then we have a good hook. We say
Yeah.
something that people actually want, right? Like
Yeah.
want to maintain your youthful appearance and get rid of your under eye concerns,
Mm,
right? Then we give like a brief introduction
yeah.
and then some educational stuff because like the doctor wanted a bit more educational and like, informative stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and then we had like a review down there and then our offer. So
Mm.
that's just the gist of it, but it's good enough to hook people in.
It doesn't, the only issue that I have with things like this is that at times, I think sometimes the way that it gets set out or the way that it kind of looks like
Too salesy, is it?
like a fake offer, like it's not like
Yeah,
not believable, if that makes sense.
yeah, yeah, too salesy, right? In a way.
Mm.
Does it make sense? Yeah, I mean, I've seen other clinics, they've run their posts as well. They're obviously their posts look very professional, and
Mm.
then they go with like a very short copy. So
Yeah.
I think it depends on how your personal brand is usually styled
Mm.
out, right? Because with this doctor, I mean, you can go search him up later,
Yeah.
but his brand is like he's very informative and very like outgoing in a way.
Personable, I
So
guess. Yeah.
yeah, I think long copies still work because once people start reading, they will want more information as to who you are as a person.
Right.
So yeah, it depends on how you kind of publish your brand because he went with like his own personal brand, right? So when he's speaking from like
That's how he
himself.
speaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Compared to like if you're publishing from like a clinic's perspective, then it might be a bit more toned down, you know.
You're right.
So I
Right.
mean, yeah, I mean you brought up a pretty valid point, so it's something
Mm.
that I probably should be looking into. And then yeah, obviously it's just the offer, and then when someone clicks into an ad,
Mm.
they get funneled into a form, right? So
Mm.
this is the form, and then the first question that we ask, okay, what number would be best to contact you? Just some questions. The allergies part is just like a question, like a general question
Yeah.
that we ask to kind of like build, like make people think about something, and then like
Yeah.
build rapport through there. Then we get their contact details in exchange for their offer, and then once they click submit, they get funneled into a website or like a landing page that, if you want, I could build for you.
Sure.
But like this doctor wanted he wanted his website there. So when people clicks more information, they get funneled into their website and then they get more information there in terms of
Can
like,
you link, for
yeah.
example, like the Instagram page?
Sorry, what?
Can you link, for example, like another social, like an Instagram page?
Yeah, I think you can because you can put any link you want in there.
Link. Yeah.
So once every time someone clicks in there, they can get funneled into wherever you want them to be, right?
Okay.
Yep. And then, but the thing with like running ads is that it's easy to get the leads to come in because Facebook does that for you. I mean, obviously, like their algorithm is very like uh measured and fine-tuned. But it's the getting the leads to come in for an appointment, which is the hard part, right? The follow-up part. So it depends on whether or not you have good follow-up systems.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the follow-up system that I've like practically built out. So
Mm-hmm.
okay, the trigger is that okay, once someone submits a Facebook lead form, like this entire software, it creates a opportunity in the pipeline, right? So our pipeline is to ensure that all the leads are accounted for, so that not one lead actually falls through the cracks, and we get to kind of hold everything accountable. So
Okay.
maybe like your mom, you said she's the admin or the receptionist, so she
Mm-hmm.
has like the overall picture of like where the leads are in terms of their stages and stuff. And then like we created the contact, we notify our personal receptionist.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing with follow-ups is that ideally you want to call the leads up 5 minutes within them submitting their form because it's still
Mm.
fresh in their brain. So when you call them up straight away, it's fresh in their brain. So when you kind of schedule them in for a meeting, they can't give you like smoke screens or objections like, oh, I don't remember submitting this, or
Sure.
like I don't want to talk to you, stuff like that, right? Because they
Mm-hmm.
just submitted a form, so it's still fresh in their mind.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, we also send them a SMS text. Like,
Right.
yeah, we send them as SMS text, just a welcome text, building rapport, asking them, any face concerns that you're currently facing,
Mm-hmm.
and then wait for 10 minutes. If they reply, obviously, like I said, like the best thing is still to call them up straight away. But if they don't reply, we send them another follow-up message. So we actually follow up with the leads 5 days. So every day we'll send one message each to them.
Okay.
So yeah, our messages, yeah, let me just show you. So everything is very uh, in a way funneled out, and obviously these are all automations. Like I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't want to be texting the leads, or I wouldn't want you to be texting the leads as well, right? Because it's
Mm.
very time consuming. So once every time like someone responds to this, like the automation automatically stops. So when let's say the lead replies to one of the messages, you'll get
Mm.
notified, and then this whole thing stops, and then ideally you want to call them,
All
right?
right.
Yep. So the second day, we just ask them like very simple questions that, we will get them to respond,
Mm-hmm.
not like hard questions like I have the right number, and then the following day, are you still wanting to come in for your consultation?
Mm-hmm.
Just a second. Sorry. Can you see my screen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then yeah, so I guess I came off too strong. Can you tell me a little bit more about what sort of skin concerns you have?
Mm.
And I noticed that a lot of people feel like we might be a bit too pushy or like
Mm.
like desperate or whatnot, right? But one of the frameworks that I always tell my clients is that, if you feel like you're bringing a lot of value to your patients, or like, you can help them feel more confident and pretty, like wouldn't you want to be following up with them, right?
Right.
So yeah, that's just one of the things that I tell my my clients when they feel like they're being too pushy or
Mm.
salesy. So yeah, I mean we just follow up with them, and then the best thing is still to call them. So we get our clients to call them up every morning, like twice a day.
Mhm.
Yeah, so mornings and evenings.
So we get notified how soon after
Yeah,
somebody fills in the form? Right away?
immediately.
I
Yeah,
mean,
you
yeah.
get, because you can get the app is available on your phone,
Yeah.
and then you get notified right away. Yep. So this is just a follow-up system and this the ads and everything. But yeah, so one of the things that I really want to like double down is that because I want to identify like the bottlenecks when running the ads, right? So this tracker allows me to like kind of identify some of the problems that are happening in a way. So like this will fill out all the data every day, and then one day after our advertising, right? So for example, maybe we're spending $35, we're getting 3,500 impressions. Do you know
Mm.
what impressions are? So like how many people are viewing your ads
Viewing,
and
yeah.
stuff, yeah, and then how many people are actually clicking through, right? And then how many leads are we getting? How
Mm.
many leads are we getting in to schedule for an appointment? So this is just like a very good tracker that allows me to identify like where the problems are so that I can solve them. So
Mm.
maybe for example, like okay, we are spending $35, but we're not getting enough impressions, right?
Right.
That might mean that our targeting is wrong, right? We need to fix up our targeting. Or maybe we're getting a lot of people to view our ads, but no one is clicking in, right? That might be a targeting issue or like a creative issue as well.
Yeah.
Or maybe we're getting a lot of appointments, but not sales, right? Then there will be a sales problem, right?
Mm.
So yeah, this tracker just allows me to kind of understand like where the bottlenecks are, and then
And how are you getting this? Is it like automatically generated this data, or how do you get like this
this we will have to input it ourselves. So like
in?
if you can see the blue columns, those
Mm.
are the ones that I would be imputing, but the red columns are the one that you will be imputing.
Okay.
So yeah, because we want to hold accountable to like how much return we are getting from the
Yeah.
money that we're
Makes
spending,
sense.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just a way of holding myself accountable and making sure that I'm actually getting you results,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, so I think that's just the gist of the entire service. What do you think?
This, I think this is the part that gets confusing, to me personally, the tracking part, to
Yeah.
see how effective things are. I don't have much experience in that. How does it work in terms of adjusting, or so for example, knowing which area of the marketing like campaign that we need to fix? How do we recognize that? So how long does it take before we see a trend, and we
Oh,
figure out
yeah.
this
Okay.
is where it's going wrong?
Yeah, so ideally we want to make a decision based on 5 days worth of data.
Mm.
Does that make sense? I mean, that's a general rule of thumb.
Mm.
If after 5 days, right, we're identifying something is going wrong, then obviously we need to resolve it as quick as we can.
Yeah. But will we
So
get
yeah.
enough data in that 5 days to be able to, to identify that?
Yeah, I
You
think if you want to identify if in terms of like creative or like targeting, 5 days is just a good indicator. But
Okay.
like, okay, in terms of like identifying how many scheduling we are getting in, obviously
Mm.
that I would need to like listen into like how your receptionist is also handling the appointment setting calls, right? Because that can be a very big issue as well.
Mm. But in
That makes
terms of,
sense.
for example, the reach, so we run an ad, but how do
Okay.
we know how many people it's reaching in those file, like, in the first day or two? Things like, how can we target? Is there a certain number of people that we can target in the ad so that we know it's reaching this many people?
Yeah, it'll give you a good indicator in between. Okay, it'll say like, oh, you're targeting between 600,000 to 1 million people, right?
Mm.
And then through that, you can see how many impressions you're getting. Like
Mm.
maybe one day you're spending like $20, right?
Mm.
And then you're getting 3,500 impressions. So
Mm-hmm.
that's not bad, because
Mm.
like that means like just because of 20, you spend $20, you get 3.5 people, 3.5K people to see your ads.
All right. Okay.
But it also depends on how many people are clicking in. Yeah.
Exactly right. Yeah. So I think that's the first and foremost is just understanding how, people are seeing these ads. So how many people, and if we get to choose, or how do we figure out the demographic or the right number of people or the right type of people to um to target, and then
Mm.
how to ensure that, yeah. So I think that's the first part. I'm trying to understand, how do we know? So for this one that you've just done with this doctor, whose profiles is he going to come up on? Can we,
Sure,
for
sure. Can
example,
you
on
say?
on an Instagram, the most basic example, I'm boosting an ad or post on Instagram, and it says, I'm not sure how
You can
accurate
reach
it
up
is.
to, yeah,
Yeah, you can target your audience, and it'll tell you
yeah.
this age group and this area, this location, and this demographic kind of thing. Is that how it works on this ad as well?
I think it's similar because like Facebook gives you uses the same algorithm to kind of get a good gauge on how many people you're targeting.
Mm.
But because with targeting is like your local business, right? So you ideally want to be targeting people around your business.
Exactly. So that's what I was thinking. Is it targeting locality wise, or is it targeting, for example, age and gender wise?
Yep.
And yeah.
We can set all of that. So ideally we would want to go with broad targeting,
Mm.
because like Facebook will analyze your ads before they kind of publish it. So
Okay.
they kind of know who you're targeting and they
Mm.
know what you're trying to sell. And
Okay.
then they'll from there on they'll find like okay who to target and then they'll
Mm.
show your ads to those people.
And then it'll show, okay, and then
Yeah.
it'll show us who's being
How
targeted and how many.
they won't necessarily show you who they're targeting, but they'll show you how many people they're
How many?
targeting.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mm.
but if you I mean obviously right now if you're publishing, you want to only be targeting women, right? You
Mm.
wouldn't
Yeah, and then the other
necessarily,
thing as
yeah.
well is, for example, I wanted to know the type of people that, not just that I'm targeting, but the people who are engaging or
Yeah.
who have the impressions. It would be very useful to know who it is that's clicking on the ad, how old they are, where they're from, etc. Does
Yeah.
that kind of information come up as well for us to view?
I don't think you would know. Okay, you can know how old they are
Mm.
because it'll show like okay,
Like
they'll
age group, like
show
obviously not going to know
charts. Yeah,
individual like
you
ages of
won't, yeah.
each. Yeah.
But I mean, obviously you can ask it in the form, but I don't think you want to ask where people stay because like that's a bit like weird.
No, as in like, there's again like on the business tools on Instagram,
Yeah,
it'll tell you how many people engaging within a post. So it'll say like, 45% is female
yeah,
and this thing. And then it'll say like in this age group, like it breaks it down by
yeah,
gender, by age, and by
yeah,
even it'll say country or city. It won't say specifically like where exactly they're staying, but it'll break down where these people are coming from. So you have a good idea of like, oh, most of the people who are watching are, or most of the people who are engaging
yeah,
are 18 to 30-year-old women.
yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah, yeah. So from there on, you can use that data to kind of
Mm.
find what your custom demographics are and
Yeah,
who are your target
I think
audiences,
that
right?
would be useful just to know,
Yeah.
personally. But yeah, so I guess in terms of seeing some information from these ads that are being run, how soon do we get what I guess the word is results
Results. It depends on, I wouldn't say how much you're spending, but obviously because have you ever advertised on your ad account before?
on what, sorry?
Your ad account, like your Facebook page
No,
or
no, only through, like I said, the like a boosted
postings and okay.
boosted post. Yeah.
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 I can't really like guarantee you like okay, you're
Mm.
gonna get results within like the first day or what because like that would be unrealistic.
Yeah.
But obviously when we publish your ads, if it's good enough and the offer is good enough and then once people start clicking in, then it depends on how good your receptionist is at like booking them in for an
Yeah.
appointment,
Yeah, sure.
because the leads are actually legit.
Mm.
Because I've had another clinic, like a clinic in Melbourne, she was running her ads, she ran her ads herself, and she was complaining to me like, oh, the ads, like the quality of the leads aren't like proper. She
Mm.
calls up the leads and the leads doesn't pick up. And then she sends them a text and they don't reply.
Mm.
Right. But then I went to a clinic and I actually helped them like one by one properly like dial the leads up.
Okay.
Like I actually managed to book in like 3 appointments for her. So it
Mm.
also depends on how relentless you are in like following up with the leads.
Of
Because
course.
like
Yeah, no,
yeah,
that's definitely a good point. Like, but like that's why I was wondering how soon after these leads like submit the form, for example, do we get notified? Because the benefit
immediately. Yeah.
of have it being family run is that we have access to this all the time. It's not necessarily within opening hours.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so in terms of, talk to me about the cost. Sorry, I don't really have too much time. I have work at 7 a.m. tomorrow, so I have to
Oh shit.
go to
Yeah,
bed
all good.
soon. But yeah, run me through in terms of cost and setup, and what you can kind of offer me at the moment to get this
Okay.
started.
Yeah. In terms of cost, we can just trial out like with $20. Is that
Mm-hmm.
all right?
Is that like per day, per week? What's
A
the
day.
per
Yeah.
day?
So
Okay.
ideally we want to be testing because like with my other doctor as well, he just started advertising.
Mm-hmm.
He's running Google ads, but he says his Google ads agency isn't getting him any results at all.
Okay.
So he wants to test out Facebook advertising and then
Mm-hmm.
he's just trying out with $20 a day.
Okay. For and
So
how many days
for a week.
for a
So
week?
after that, we get like a solid, like a brief overview of like, okay, how does this advertising system kind of works?
Mm-hmm.
And then we can, for like moving forward, we can decide, okay, do we want to continue working together? And does he want to continue scaling up with this? Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So in terms of like the follow-up system and everything, it's all like built out. But yeah, like I said, it depends on how good the algorithm is at identifying our ads and like, sending us leads. Then once the
So,
leads come in,
just to make things clear, at the end of this 1 week, what kind of information or what kind of things will have happened by the end of this week that we can utilize moving forward?
yeah, wait, let me just show you
Mm.
one of, can you see my screen?
Mhm.
Yeah, if you can see here, this clinic, right, she ran her ads for a week. So she got 22 leads
Mhm.
and a lead cost her about 5.7, like $5.70, right? So if
Mhm.
you imagine like all these leads were actually like legit and she actually managed to follow up with them and her sales skills were on point, she managed to get them in for an appointment and actually close them. Like imagine how much money she would be actually making, right?
Right,
Just from
right.
like $120 of like ad spend.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it really depends on how good you are at setting your
Mm.
appointments and closing your sales, right? Because
So
like
in that week,
what,
they had
yep,
22 leads, and then basically from those leads, the leads are the forms that are submitted that with their details and to follow up. Is that right?
yeah. So she actually got like their names,
Yeah.
number, and their email.
Okay. So that's what lead mean. And lead means the people who have submitted the form with their name, number, and email.
Yeah. And then you
Then
can ask
then
any
we call
other
back.
questions that you want.
Yeah, and then
Sorry,
we
what?
call these leads back to
Yeah.
schedule like appointments and to get them in basically.
Yeah.
Okay. And in terms of the content, so the copy itself, how is that part of your service that you create that, or
Yep.
yeah.
Because obviously, yeah, I've familiarized myself with more like the opera understandings and how you kind of
Mm,
navigate those because like the only thing that you can't really post is like before and after and patient reviews. Oh, and also injectables. Like you can't be posting you holding a needle or like you injecting
mm,
it. So I watched a few of your reels on your Instagram. Like those videos wouldn't be allowed. Right. So if you looked at my like the doctor that I'm helping him advertise, like his videos all are like very professional and pristine.
yeah.
But because they had like those injection materials, like we obviously couldn't use that. So I had to like
Right.
crop all those out. So you can just sorry, that's really loud.
Oh yeah, I see what he's doing.
Yeah, yeah. So he had like the injection of it, and then but we obviously couldn't use it,
Just
so I
cut
had
that
to
out, yeah.
yeah cut that out. But I'm also thinking about experimenting with another video concept. So I want to start with like a actual hook to hook like a very captivating hook like ladies or just playing into more psychological
Mm,
things with that.
yeah.
So that's something that I want to be experimenting with.
Well, there's no limit on, for example, the skin treatments, like the microneedling and the
Yeah,
chemical
those are
peeling
fine,
and
but
those things, like
injectables, yeah,
those
it's
kinds of
just
things are good,
injectables.
which is good for us because we've got quite a few reels based on the skin treatments, and those are the ones that are bringing the most amount of money anyway.
Yeah,
So if, for example, if we can aim a couple of different ads, or not necessarily at the same time, but once we do, well, one of the ads could be aimed towards so I'm going to sneeze. No, I'm not.
okay.
Injectables, because obviously the injectables are the most common
Yeah,
kind of appointment that we get. Most of them will be either the anti-wrinkle injectables or the fillers, mostly the
I feel like,
anti-wrinkle.
yeah.
So then,
As in for the meat chicks, is it?
yeah, they did like the here are the
Under
Botox and
eye,
the
yeah,
everything. So, that's the most common. That's what people come in for. But to be honest, they're the most or the least profitable because it doesn't cost that much to get them injected.
yeah,
And then from that amount, we have to pay the nurse and then we have to pay for the
yeah,
product. So to be honest, even advertising those things are not
yeah.
necessarily going
You
to
want to go for like the facial route, is it? But
the facial route. And also, for example, the treatments that even the injectable treatment that will bring in the most money will be something like PRP, because
yeah,
PRP is the one that people,
plasma, yeah,
yeah, because that one needs several treatments.
yeah,
So people need to book or purchase a bundle, like maybe at least, like, for example, 3 treatments at once.
yeah,
That only not only are they spending a larger amount of money, but they're also then booked in for 3 separate appointments, or
yeah,
confirmed for 3 separate appointments. So that in terms of the content, or what I'm thinking would be the most beneficial to us, would be just going down the facial, the chemical peels, the RF microneedling, and the laser that we
yeah,
offer.
yeah,
Because, yeah, like I said, the injectables are good. They're very common, and I feel like it's very easy to find us based on our injectables. But I just want something that'll catch people's attention, that's a little bit different to what everyone else offers,
yeah.
and that also
Uh,
will bring us more money.
yeah, I think a lot of people are actually also advertising like all these facial treatments.
Mm,
So that's why I wanted to test out another concept of like making it more psychological and like using the treatments or like storylines, something to get people more hooked in and involved.
The only issue that I completely agree. The only issue that we just don't have that content.
Yeah,
So
that's something that I will have to kind of craft out and figure out how to,
yeah,
navigate.
yeah. So
But
that's the
I,
only issue. It's just very difficult, like I said, to to get that content
yeah,
freshly. So if you have any ideas of who
yeah,
with the kind of content, or what the kind of thing that you're looking for, I can try to work it out,
yeah.
and try to get it filmed. But at the moment, we don't really have too much content in that aspect. Otherwise, I'd be posting all over social media, trust me.
Yeah. And also like going back to like what you want to sell, it doesn't really matter, right? Because the only thing that matters is getting the leads to come in for an appointment.
Yeah,
Then
that's
it
true.
depends on how you want to sell them, all right? Because if they really believe in like your authority as a clinic and you can
Mm.
just tell them, oh, you have this skin issue or what, they're
Yeah,
just
that's
gonna
true. Yeah,
throw
100%.
money at you, right?
Yeah, we've got a very, very good nurse, and a skin therapist who have very good rapport with the people. So as long as they come in for a consultation, and then you address, and you can come up with a plan. We tend to come up with treatment plans when they come in for a consultation. We address their skin concerns, and they come up with like a personalized treatment plan for them. So
Yep.
our nursing staff are very good at that. We've had more than several new clients when they've come in and they've walked out very happy with what the nurse has educated them. She's very, educated, and
Energetic, yeah.
yeah, and she teaches them a lot. So they walk away understanding what they need, and they're looking forward to getting treated. So
Yep.
you're right, as long as we get them in for that
Yeah.
consultation at least. And the more new patients, the better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Um, so how do we go from here? What's the next step if we, agreeing to move forward? What's the next step that happens?
Yeah. I think I could just help you start advertising.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
As in,
just it.
what do you do now? What do I do? What do you do next? What do you need from me, or how do we move forward?
I would need your Facebook ad account.
Mm-hmm.
Then you obviously have to come up with like a budget on how much you want to advertise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just it.
Okay. No
But
worries.
obviously, like I
Yeah.
just want to make it clear that obviously if this goes well, I will be, charging you and getting into a contract with you.
Of course.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, no, understood. I think I just also need to go and speak with the rest of the family about the
yeah,
info that you've given me, to see if it's something that, obviously it's very interesting first and foremost, and every clinic would want something, to
yeah,
boost, but it's just the longevity of it, and in
yeah,
the long run, if it's something that we can maintain. And
yeah.
obviously I don't want to waste your time
Yeah.
and effort.
No, but with advertising, it really depends, right? Because if I actually manage to book out your whole
Mm.
calendar within the first month, then the second month you don't really need me anymore, right?
And so again, okay, so then explain the contract part to me. So for example, how long would you be helping us for before we start discussing a contract?
Yep. So it's just the first week,
The first
right?
week.
We run the first week, we'll see how it
Mm.
goes, and then after that we discuss the contract.
And I guess no like the first week, there's no strings attached or there's no tie downs or anything like that, is there?
Sorry, you were lagging a bit. Couldn't hear what
That's
you
all
said.
right. So in the first week, once that's done, and we have the idea of what's happened in this week, there's no like lock-ins, or we're not locked into anything.
No. So we just, I mean, obviously I want to build like a good relationship with you so
Mm,
that I can keep the longevity of it, right?
mhm,
I don't want to be like, yeah, screwing you over. So
mhm.
it's just a monthly retainer kind of thing. You can just leave if you, that's it.
Monthly, okay. No worries. And can I get an idea of what to expect in that monthly, like how much you would charge in the,
Oh, okay, yeah. Ideally, I would be looking to charge $1,000.
8,000?
1,000, 1,000.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was gonna be like,
8,000 is a bit ridiculous. Yeah.
I was
Yep.
going to
And
say,
then obviously,
I had to repeat that to make sure.
yeah. So, yep, $1,000 is just like a monthly retainer. And then if you need like more stuff, like, your creatives and whatnot,
Mm.
then there will be extra money. And yeah, but
And how long will it take to get all this set up before this, 1 week? How long will it take you to set up the pages and the ad itself and the content, etc.?
a full day if you're really efficient with giving me all that I need.
Okay.
Because a lot of times it's just the clients that just slow things out. Like when I ask for something, they can't give me. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
if you can give me everything, I can just like log into it,
Mm.
get you sorted and everything.
Okay. No, that's good to know.
Yeah.
The only issues, I'm like really, really sorry. I'm so busy with like my
Okay.
work, like,
Yeah.
at the hospital. And I'm also going away this weekend, for 2 weeks. So it might be a little bit pressed for time
Yeah.
until I
Honestly,
go.
like the only thing that you really need to give me is your access to the Facebook. But
Yeah.
obviously, yeah, and then I can just craft out everything for you because like all my automations and systems and everything is already built up.
Mm. And I also, like I said, need to speak to the
Yeah,
family
the
to
family.
their
Yeah.
idea
Okay,
about
that's fair enough.
this, and to get their, because otherwise they'll think I'm being scammed and giving some random
Yeah.
Facebook login.
Yeah.
So need to discuss that with them. But I think it's a something that I'd definitely be interested in, of course, as a, like, as a business, to run the business. I just need
Yeah.
to run it by the rest of the team first.
Yeah.
And we will go
Yeah.
from there.
It's all good. Yeah. So in terms of like Facebook access, you can just add me into like as an ad account manager.
Mhm.
So like the only access I have is the ad accounts. You don't have
Mm.
to worry too much.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's just it.
Okay. No, that's good to know. Thank you for your time, Nathaniel. I really appreciate it.
All
I
right.
know it's very late and you've had work today as well. So I
No,
appreciate
all
you
good.
fitting me
Yeah.
in. But I'll get back to you once I've spoken to the family, and we'll go from there.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Nina.
Thank you.
All
Thanks.
right.
Have a good
Good
night.
night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.